Like, oh, I achieved that goal, or I did this, or I love the way I speak today. I love the way I conduct myself. I love the way I do business. I love the way I treat other people. Dude, that's just the beginning. There's also another level. I hated doing it. It's like I hate door knocking, right? But I did it.
That struggle that we went through, I think the message to get out there is, dude, just don't stop, right? Don't stop.
Determination,
Yeah.
competitiveness,
Yeah.
outright hustle. I don't like being told no. I don't like failing at things anymore. I want to figure them out.
Yes.
Like, I need to do that. I don't like being beat.
My God, isn't it crazy how the industry, dude, in sales gears, you're geared to do that now, Adam.
Yeah.
That's how I'm geared.
But you're not going to learn how to be the #1 salesman sitting in a goddamn office getting trained. You have to go get forged in the fire.
You have people out there, and those people are going to work harder for you when you give them the best of you. Period. Hey guys, how are you? This is Matt Lankford with Success in Motion. We got a phenomenal guest today, Adam Tronier, entrepreneur, recruiter, starter of Redemption Blueprint, love it, and Hustle 2.0. This guy right here has changed countless lives. Inside the roofing industry, man, he's really built himself up to something really, really great. And today we're going to dive in and try to discover the true grit, the true grind of how he got to where he is. But first to start, we got to, dude, Adam, we got to go over, we have to go over how we met. So me and Adam met many, many years ago. I mean, we're basically brothers and family in a lot of ways, right? And he has seen me and I have seen him grow in ways that are just astonishing, right? So we met years ago inside of some adversity, and the story goes, a lot of people know it, right? But for everybody listening, we went through this stage of adversity, and we got together, and we linked up, and we started with rock bottom, right? Point. We started with nothing, and we grew together, and we are where we are today, dude. So that's, dude, love you, Adam. Thanks for coming on and explaining your story, dude. But so how you been, dude? How's everything going?
Oh, my goodness, I'm overwhelmed as usual.
Yes, sir.
No, everything is going really, really well. I had a big smile on my face when you said, let's go back to the place where we originally met.
Yeah.
And I remember laying in that bunk inside the tents. It's like 115 degrees out. You and Shane Beck came over. I knew you were on the yard. My children's mother, her cousin, you were married to at one point.
Sure.
And we got linked up somehow inside prison like that. You came over, you were in the program. And you had long hair. It was very appealing, by the way.
As the story goes.
Yeah. And you guys came over and brought me to my first AA meeting. And I remember I was strung out and, just laying on my bunk. And little by little, all that progress that was made since then, opportunity on the fire crew and come over and having you mentor me and bringing me in and feeding me. And, when I had nothing. And just a really, really, definitely rock bottom. To where
Sure.
we're at today is just...
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable. And it goes that old saying, that every journey starts somewhere. That's where our journey started. And I firmly believe that through the process of that, man, we could jump in and deep dive and go anywhere in your story. But we do know that number one, our stories correlate from that era. And we do know that from that point when we moved forward, more than me, but you, right? You moved forward, you kind of... you kind of just grew and obtained these strengths, right? And these qualities, this character, really what it was, right? And I know that it wasn't easy, right? Nothing was given to you. Everything was worked for, right? Not given. It was earned, right? And in the midst of that, Adam, dude, I have got to dive into this story, right? Because everybody that's listening, everybody that's following, everybody that kind of, dude, admires you and looks up to you, right? We need to understand where that character actually was born and forged. So in time, right? Yeah, I know you love it, bro. You're smiling over there, right? So in the midst of that, I want you to go through that story. You don't got to get too detailed with it, but just go over characteristics, man, of what you really learned back then that define you today. Because I firmly believed in my personal story when we were together, those simple things that we did, those were the nuts and bolts that were built in the foundation. That was my foundation that was built that carried into today, man.
Sure.
Is there anything back then that really stuck out to you, dude, when you had to overcome those things, or that really stuck out to you, dude, that shape you today?
It's always better when somebody else describes me back then.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes I forget. And I don't remember who I was at the time, right? Like, oh, I want to be a gangster. I'm 30-something years old. I'm sitting in prison with nothing. I've abandoned my children. All this crap. The way I spoke about myself, the way I spoke about other people, the massive transformation. Everybody sees it today, and goes, "Oh, congratulations! Oh, Adam, dude, you're great. You're great." And I'm like, dude, I wish you would have known me back then.
Right.
I wish you would have seen me back then. And it's that the must be nice mentality. I'm stuck on that. I've been stuck on that lately. Everyone's like, must be nice. And I was like, dude, it took a lot to get to where I'm at today. It took everything I had and still does today. It's not an easy ride. It's not a free ride. It took everything I had to dive deep into the AA program. It took everything I had to survive on the fire crew. It took everything I had to be kind, caring, selfless, loving, tolerant of other people so I could learn and develop those characteristics, right? Took everything I had. Everything I've ever done, and you included, and everybody else, if you don't know it or not, you guys have been putting in the work and the effort to try to build something inside yourselves. And that stuff just isn't wished. It's not preyed on. It comes through development. Yeah. Like tons and tons of work and development to get yourself to that point to where you think you are. And exactly when you hit that, you hit that platform and you jump up on top of that, there's another fucking level. Every single time. Yes. Like, oh, I achieved that goal, or I did this, or I love the way I speak today. I love the way I conduct myself. I love the way I do business. I love the way I treat other people. Dude, that's just the beginning. There's also another level. It never stops. The growth never stops. So I was in a very, very bad place. Very, very dark, place. And in order to achieve some of the things, I had to take direction and guidance and from you. Mostly from Josh Schnitzel, from Jason, from the guys on my fire crew. I had to learn how to follow before I could lead. 100%. Yeah. If you think you just magically appeared on this earth and you're like, hey, I'm a great leader, like, that's not true. Hey, I'm self-made. That's not true. You were born. Yeah, your parents had sex. That's how you popped out of here. Sure. You're not self-made. They made you. Yes. Right? And God. So let's just get that over with right off the rip. Yep. So it's like, what happened, right? I learned how to follow many, many men that I looked up to and I thought that had great characteristics and attributes that I wanted for myself. And I said, I want to mimic that. I love what you have. I love the way you make me feel, right? The most powerful thing you can give somebody is a feeling. Yep. Hey, I love the way when he comes around, the way he makes me feel, because I love that myself. Yeah. And if I like that, I probably like giving it as much as I like receiving it. That's right. So if I can make somebody feel better about themselves or about their day or about their progress or whatever they're doing, that makes me happy today. Yep. And that's what it's all. It really, really is, dude. You know what it reminds me of is every single person has got an instinctual language, right? Sometimes they call it like a love language, right? Oh, sure. But when what you do, if you give, okay, and you're of service to other people, right, and you're always inspiring and lifting them up, that in return is what you truly desire. If you go out there and you give gifts to people, right? Or if you mentor and coach people, it's that language, it's that frequency that we're permitting. But, to dive into, kind of where we were forged through all the hard work that we put in, man, the biggest thing, dude, is service. I think in the beginning, would you agree that we walked around and just like you said, man, we had to follow other people, right? We had to attach ourselves to some type of wisdom and knowledge and go, all right, and here's a surrender. That's all that it is, a surrender. I may not like this surrender. I don't like the fact that this white flag is going up. And the white flag is literally this. And there's so many different people in the world that struggle with so many different things. There could be overworking. There could be overeating. There could be neglect, dude, with you not spending enough time with your family, right? There could be the fact that you're just super selfish. There could be you could be an alcoholic, man. Maybe you need to stop drinking on the weekends and pay more attention to your family. But everybody walks through the same scenario. And that is what you're talking about, Adam, is open-mindedness and surrender inside of waving that white flag to say, dude, what I've been doing, dude, I'm not cool with anymore, and I don't want to do it anymore. It's gotten me here. And like I had mentioned, many different people have many, many different stories, but the road to surrender is always the same for everybody, right? So that service that you were walking in the beginning, there was modes to where
we were walking into things, trying to get inside of different programs to just learn how to be better men, just to develop our character, whether that was mentally, spiritually, physically, right? Adam was on the fire crew, right? Dude, in those modes, is there anything that you remember back in that time, dude, that was like an aha moment, dude, to where you were like, oh my God, dude, like this is actually working, dude, or man, I can see the shift and the change. And it could have been just because the people that we were around, because we completely shifted, that sum of the 5 people that you're around.
Sure.
I mean, my God, we did it, right?
Yeah.
So is there anything back in that time where you're just like, dude, if I could say it was anything, it was this?
Well, one of the first like moments of victory wasn't really a moment of victory.
Right.
Where I was on the fire crew and we had a back to basics class that night. Joey Landon was coming in.
Yeah.
John Mulligan. And we were going on a practical. It was like 13 miles or something like that. And dude, we had these boots on that didn't fit. They were terrible. And I had gotten through like the first 5 miles or something. And we got on top of this mountain and they all lined us out and said, hey, good job. Congratulations, guys. Hey, water up and stuff. And I thought that we were finished. And I was sitting there crying. I have tears running down my face because the first time in my life I have accomplished something that was very difficult because it took me a long time through those 5 miles to get to where I was going. And I had a lot of weight on my back. And I was sweating and I was tired and I had made it. I didn't give up and I had an opportunity to give up. And I always give up when I say hard and I make up excuses and I say, fuck that, fuck him. I don't like the way they talk to me. Oh, I didn't have to march this way. Why are they making us do this? All these excuses that come out. And I'm standing on there and I'm like shedding a tear and I look over at Nick Lowry, rest in peace, Nick Lowry.
Yeah.
And I go, dude, I made it. And the fire sergeant says, hey guys, get some water. We have like another 7 miles to go. And my heart sunk. But I made it out of that walk. My boot, my sock was like shoved in my boot. I lost 3 toenails, dude. I was just wiped out. I was the last guy out. They probably waited for me for like an hour and a half. I was so embarrassed. But I made it out of there. And then we went to that Back to Basics program. And inside that Back to Basics program, I had that aha moment again. And John Mulligan says, raise your hand if you guys get visits. Raise your hand if you get store. Raise your hand if you get phone calls. And everybody's all joyous and happy in there. And he's like, yeah, you smoking cigarettes and stuff? And everyone's like, yeah, I get phone calls. I get visits and stuff. And he says, I see that you guys are still manipulating your families to take care of you as full-grown men. And I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
I'm not as cool as I think I am.
Yep.
Wow. And that sparked something inside of me. And I think a lot of us, and then you were always pressing us to, hey, let's go do more programming. It's like, we already took that major program. And you're like,
yeah,
let's go take it again. I'm
yeah,
like, motherfucker. But I did everything that was suggested to me.
Yeah.
And I did it unwillingly. I didn't want to do it. I hated doing it. Just like I hate door knocking, right? But I did it because I knew where it was going to bring me. So through those major programs, through all those times of going to the AA rooms, show up when you don't want to when you're going to learn something. Yep. I showed up every time I didn't want to. I hated doing speaker meetings in there, dude. I didn't want to get up from my TV program. I never got rest inside prison. None of these things came easy for me. And I just went and went and went until it became who I was.
Yeah.
And Matt you did the exact same thing.
Yep.
I'm just going to practice and practice and practice.
Yeah.
And today I walk different. I talk different. I speak different. I talk about people differently. All that stuff has changed because of all that energy and effort and practice that I've put in, that you have put in, that multiple other men that we surround ourselves with have put in.
Yes.
And everyone goes, must be nice, as you're sitting on the sideline not willing to put the work in.
Oh, it's insane, dude.
Yeah.
You know what? I think about that. There's the curiosity in the age-old question. The curiosity is, how do these guys really perform at high levels? Number one, right? Number two is, must be nice. Number three may be, how do I get to where that is, right? Because it is attractive, right? And here later on, we're gonna dive into all the guys, dude, and talk about real stories, dude, of leadership. But inside of that is the age-old question is, how do you get there? And I think Adam's story kind of correlates right now is as far as physical pain and torture. Overcoming that torture, what it does is it, in a couple different ways, right? You'd probably agree, Adam, that it conditions yourself right? And you're creating a muscle, right, of where you, in your mind, right? And there's been other, high performers out there that kind of go over like a 40% rule. As soon as you think you're going to break, you're only at 40%. Stop being a little bitch, right?
Yeah.
Keep on grinding. That aspect is how you pushed yourself into that realm, right? So I think from that little just story that you've just told, Adam, it's when you think that you're done, you're not done, right? Keep pushing yourself. And you have got to push yourself to a breaking point. So many different people that are not high performers, they kind of stop, they back up, they fear, they don't push, they don't put themselves in that level. And I think what we're starting to understand is just from these podcasts that are coming on, and we're getting high performers on here, people that have accomplished a lot in a very short period of time, is from pushing themselves inside of these lessons, these storms, right? Just like the fire crew, the physical, the self-development, right, is bursting through those levels, right? And it's, as we start to continue on with your story, dude, and really learn more about you, Adam, is we're going to start to uncover what really shapes Adam Tronier. Well, what shaped him, right? Because this is what makes it interesting for me. And I know that other people are like, well, hold on a second, dude. Well, I am not doing nothing compared to that, right? If I get into something, you're talking about traveling up that hill, dude, and you're like, dude, I just got there, dude. He's like 7 miles. It's like, oh my God, dude, keep pushing. It doesn't matter, dude. We're pushing towards the end. Applying that into every single thing that we're doing in life, whether that's being a better father or, coaching your kids or, having a stability financial aspect or building a business or creating a team. It doesn't matter what it is. Push yourself. So that's what we're gonna discover is what really shapes Adam. So inside of that, so we move forward a little bit, and we spent many years together, right? We spent many years together. We then got out and we started going separate ways, right? And I want you to start the story, dude, to where you're at when you start to. It's like you just land, right? Nothing. All you have is a pair of shoes, a pair of pants, right? Yeah. Maybe a hat that you just got a phone. Everything is brand new in the world, and that is literally the foundation today that you still stand on. Nothing's changed from that. That has been built. You've built it from that point, dude. Talk to me a little bit about what you felt at that moment, dude. What was in your mind, dude, and just that mindset of that you were going to grind, right? You knew that you weren't going to go backwards. You knew you were going to keep going forward, right? And the people in your life. Talk to us a little bit about that.
My re-entry into society.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember my last meeting inside prison, and I was really starting to get this belief inside myself. And I had been sober for coming up on, maybe 3 years or something like that. And I spoke inside this meeting, and I knew I needed to put this out in the universe. And I was tired of talking about being a drug addict and how I felt when I was a drug addict, and I started to need to talk about how I feel now and where I want to go. And I was, we learned these things on the fire crew, be proficient both technically and as a leader, job detail and oriented and all these things. And I started speaking this stuff like I am, right? I am capable. I am responsible. I can be authentic. I am proficient in my job, both technically and as a leader. I start speaking these things like I am, right? Now I'm having accountability inside of myself and the things that I do. And I knew, I knew somewhere deep down I was meant for something more than the actions that I was doing that was landing me inside of prison and sticking me inside of prison. I knew it somewhere deep down. I didn't fit in there. Like, this isn't my place. This isn't my home. I don't like this.
Yep.
And, man, I had gotten out, and, my son's birthday, I was supposed to see him. I couldn't see my children for the first 4 months. I was taken to court immediately. I came down, and this is another thing that goes back. Like, this isn't the Adam Tronier show, right? This is the everybody supporting Adam Tronier from the character that he fucking demonstrated while inside of prison, where it allowed him to, or opened up doors for him in other people's lives that gave him an opportunity and a chance. What I did with that opportunity was up to me. So when I came down and see you, Jessica allowed me to live at her house. Joey allowed me, pick me up. Josh picked me up. They bought me clothes. I had $700 to my name. I came down to see you at your first home purchase down in Florence.
Yeah.
You loaned me a PT Cruiser. You paid the insurance on it because I had nothing. I bought my clothes at Goodwill. I don't have a mom and a dad and an uncle and a grandpa to call. There is nobody to call.
Yep.
It's just me and the relationships that I developed inside of prison that are going to push me forward. So I got an opportunity to be a door knocker and a project manager. And Ronnie Allen gave me that. It's the best move ever. I just got to, I delivered Ronnie Allen's ashes to his family in North Carolina. His mom writes me this massive thing, dude, so thankful and grateful. And I thought, you have no idea how grateful I am for him because he changed my life. He changed my life because he believed in me and he gave me an opportunity. And he taught me the things that I didn't know to be successful in this world.
Yep.
And so did multiple other men while I was inside prison.
Yep.
He changed the trajectory of my life and hundreds of other men's lives by giving me that opportunity. So I'm more thankful than you can ever imagine.
Yep. And it's about the people, dude.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, dude.
Yep.
The people gave us the opportunities that were in our lives. There's no doubt about that, dude. Man, it just brings me back to that, dude. Everybody has that starting point, and that's your pivotal moment, right? Is when you really walked into that. Now, getting into the roofing industry, right? Because me and you, we walked through and we traveled down different fields, right? We were just trying things new. You got out, dude, and you got people around you. You're with Jess, and everything's really brand new. Dude, let's dive into this right here because this is great. And I remember this. The beautiful thing about your story is I know it because I was right next to you, right?
Yeah.
You get into working, right, and you go right into the roofing industry. Right? For me, I jumped into a couple other things before I got into it, right?
Sure.
Right, which was, it's good.
Tattooing and jacuzzi
yes.
and winning the Golden Hammer. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple other things, right? But, man, you really jumped into that. And for somebody, this is the craziest thing in the world, for somebody to get out, right? And to go right into something so difficult, bro, as door-to-door sales, right? And everybody asks, well, how did you get to where you are, dude? Well, door-to-door sales. That's the truth. Everybody has a starting point, and it starts with that door. And through that, right, is communication, you're overcoming those obstacles and slam doors and getting chased off properties and connecting with people and getting jobs and them jobs making, getting them done and, people not getting them done. But when, talk to us a little bit about you inside of door-to-door sales in the beginning, dude. How tough was it? How many doors you knocked, the people that are around you, and what you truly had to overcome in those moments. Because I remember the phone calls, right?
My God.
Yeah.
Miserable. It really was miserable. I was terrible at communication. I'm standing on somebody's doorstep in Flagstaff, multi-million-dollar homes. I'd never had a real job outside of the fire crew. Was like my first real job that I had stuck with, and I didn't even want to finish that.
Yeah.
And now I'm out here doing door-to-door sales all by myself on the road. Have a couple of the guys around me, but, the rejections, the no money, the nothing coming in for the first 3, 4, 5 months, the multiple jobs that went negative because I didn't know what I was doing. It's kind of a sink or swim industry in a lot of ways. And I would like to get into that later because we talk about the sink and swim industry, and I want to talk about that, but until I got my first big paycheck.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And then I got another one and another one. It just evolved from there. But I would call you. You would be driving home from jacuzzi 10, 11 o'clock at night, pulling these 14, 15-hour days, and I would be too.
Yep.
And I was just so thankful I had somebody to call, dude, in to break my misery too.
Sure.
Dude, I'm not doing good. This sucks. I can't do it. I don't know if this is for me. I'm out here by myself. I can't get a sale. I could barely get on a roof. I didn't really know much. Nobody really knew much at that time. And then we just made it happen, and we didn't give up. And I remember Pierce Baker was the last one. He was like, dude, please don't go. Please don't go, dude. Like, you're all I got. Like, it's just me and you.
Yep.
Now Pierce owns Craft Built.
Yep.
It is, and I said, I'll stick in. I think it was like September, October. I'll stick with you until September or October, dude. But then I got to get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
I can't do this shit anymore. Like, it ain't working. And And we did it, dude, and it worked, right? And as soon as it worked, I started, I wanted to give it back to other people. I didn't want to have all this money and just be able to go do things with just me and my family. I wanted other people. I wanted to affect positively. There was so many people in my life that I had met through prison or had touched me in some way, shape, or form, dude, that elevated my character and my spirit and made me feel good and comfortable. And I wanted to give it back, dude. I had to give it back to people because that's what the AA program taught us.
Yeah.
Hey, keep giving it back.
Yes.
And so I continued to do that. I remember hiring people, and we got, from the very beginning, it was Michael Kane, Sean Powell, you came on board. We all started roofing together. We're living in the Prescott house. There's like a 3-bedroom house. It really wasn't 3 bedrooms. It was 2 bedrooms with a whatever the fuck that was, a living room, right? Yes. We got bunk beds in there. We got 12 people sleeping in there, people's stinky ass boots on the floor. And we just made it happen.
Yep.
Right? Had to get $1,000 loaned on a food stamp card so we could fill the refrigerator so we could go knock more doors. And that's what our reality was. And nobody sees that stuff. They don't, they see it now if they're living that life and they're coming up in the beginning of the industry, but they don't see that, remember those times. We do. And I think that it's so powerful. But dude, it's changed my life.
It 100% is, dude.
It's changed my life.
The one thing I think of, dude, and I'm just trying to dude, there's so many people, dude, that have this question of why do people succeed or fail in the roofing industry? And today where we're at, Adam, is we've scaled pretty fast. I think because of our strengths of where we came from, we really, really have. We've scaled super fast in the process of that because of our character and kind of the principles that we stand for and live by. We've been able to change many people's lives. But for the new people that come into this industry, I know that I see this, and I guarantee that you do, is we see these guys that are just like, oh, dude, must be nice, right? Oh, hold on a second. Dude, you're not out there knocking. But to go back in that time, I want to give a little bit to the people that are listening to this. Me and Adam and me and Sean and all these guys in the group, we stayed out there for weeks, the sacrifice. So we're going to go over this. And the question is this, is why do some people succeed and why do other people fail? And what core values did we inside this roofing industry? Because let's not even look at it as a roofing industry. Let's just look at it as a job that we knew that if we don't sell, we don't eat. If we don't connect, we don't move up. That's all that it is. And inside of this, I believe that, to back up through your story, we're built on being open-minded, right? We're wanting to grow. We're wanting to evaluate and kind of take on the world and grow as we go. So we started to learn in the beginning, this is super magical. This is a very magical moment. We started to learn in the beginning that we needed to connect with more people, the community, the streets, the neighbors, the people, the door-to-door sales, right? Getting people's roofs approved. But through the process of this, we really, really learned what type of work ethic needed to go into this in the beginning. And I mean a ton. I see a lot of people, no judgment out there, absolutely no judgment at all. A lot of people want to go out there and they want to work from, 10 to 3, and that's great, right? Ronnie told me one time, he said this, he says, the whole strategy is to be able to accomplish something in 1 year, and what it would take the normal man 5 years to do. And I think that's exactly what we did. We went out there in a matter of 12 months, right? Side by side with a crew of killers, bro. And I'm not talking, let's take the roofing industry out of it. Let's just talk about the individuals and the personality traits that we have. And we all carry that still today, no matter where we go and what we do. So those core principles are, and we'll talk about this, Adam, is never giving up. Dude, a sense of relentlessness, right? You remember I had twins on the way. Wife's at home, twins on the way. I knew in my mind that it was uncertain. It wasn't, hey, you go out, you dig this ditch, and when you're done, you get paid. It was, no, pack your bags, get on the road. I don't know where these contracts are going to come from, but I do know this. If you knock enough, you'll sell enough, and you'll move up enough. And that's it. And I was not good, just like you were not good in the beginning, and I needed to put out more numbers. So, dude, a lot of key traits come into this. Number one, a serious amount of relentlessness and action, a undeniable commitment to be able to say, I'm in and I'm in the circle. Where are we going? Where are we at? What are we doing? And I know you're going to take over this conversation in a second. You're going to let everybody know this is what we did. Where are we at, Adam? Where are we heading to? Airbnb up here, motel over here. We're renting an apartment complex or apartment. We're staying down here. Everybody migrated together, dude. Yep. And what we knew is what we knew. But we worked a serious amount. Man, I'm getting just chills right now thinking about this. That was where we were born, because I don't really like looking at the roofing industry. I like looking at who we are.
Yeah.
who we truly are, it didn't matter. Dude, if you put us, bro, at McDonald's, bro, we would have took over that place. We'd have a franchise business right
Yeah.
now. No matter where we went or where we were going to go, we were going to succeed and take over. So in the midst of that relentlessness, that commitment, dude, that ability to adjust through failures, right? Fail forward, like knocking that door, not having that right pitch. Dude, I remember going to dozens and dozens. I've watched people just like you have in the roofing industry, bro, that excelled way past me in my time frame, way past me. They got it in 2 months, took me 6.
Yeah.
And your story is very similar to that. And it's like, hold on a second. So that struggle that we went through, I think the message to get out there is, dude, just don't stop, right? Don't stop.
It's determination,
Yeah.
competitiveness,
Yeah.
outright hustle. I don't like being told no. I don't like failing at things anymore. I want to figure them out.
Yes.
Like I need to do that. I don't like being beat.
My God, isn't it crazy how the industry, dude, in sales you're geared to do that now, Adam.
Yeah.
That's how I'm geared. And that's why I really want to get this out there, man, and is talk about this, because the roofing industry did that. Sales did that to me and you, right?
Yeah.
Relentlessness, commitment, going out there, dude, even pulling people in the recruiting. And my God, you've been really, really, dude, gifted and talented at that. But the message, dude, is anybody new in the industry, dude, let's get a message at them. For anybody new coming in the industry that thinks, right, they come into the industry because of this. They see the money inside of it. They see the security.
Sure.
They know that they can make it just like we did, right? What's the message that we get out there to these people, right, that are, they want to come out half committed, Adam. They want to come out and they want to make a little bit of money, right? But the reason they sat down with you, right, is because they want to make all of it. They want what you have. So what's the message to get out to people like this on where they're missing the point, dude? And must be nice, Adam. Must be nice to have all that. What's the message to get out to these people that are listening, right? That are saying, well, dude, how do I need to create that energy, that structure, that foundation to even sit next to Adam, right? What's the message, dude? It's the truth, man. Now we're speaking truth, dude.
Oh my goodness. Leadership.
Yeah.
Leadership, 100%. It all starts with leadership. It starts with who you pick to surround yourself with. There's multiple different roofing companies out there. There's multiple different roofing teams out there. I think there's a lot of guys that promote themselves that aren't doing the real deal, right? Mm-hmm. You have guys on Instagram, and you have guys on this, and you have guys all over social media, and they're talking about, dude, I build, I'm the best salesman in the whole world. I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. I don't give two fucks about none of that, right? I want to surround myself with the individuals who I believe in.
Yep.
Your sales numbers don't tell me anything. I want to know who you are as an individual, and I want to get around you because I want those same character traits, because those character traits are going to lead me to the path and down the path that I want to go to. They're going to get me to the goals that I want to obtain. And I need to surround myself with those guys, because whatever those guys are doing is working. I don't care. There's so many guys that I know that have been in the industry for 10, 15, 12, 6, 8 years, right? They don't put up good sales numbers. Their teams are fucking trash. And I hate to say that, dude, but it's just the reality of it. Sure. And it's like, dude, why? How come? Well, you want to be home at 3 o'clock at night to watch Netflix, and you want to eat dinner, and you want to do all these things. And I hate that I offend people on this, dude, but it's the truth. Just like, hey, Adam, you don't have a good relationship with your family. You're damn right I don't. I would love one, dude, but I'm busy working.
Yep.
They can say the same thing about me in the working industry.
Yep.
So I go, dude, it takes everything you got for a long amount of time. And when you hit that 40% mark,
yes,
congratulations, dude. You've made it to the starting line, because now we need to take off.
Yeah.
So all these things, and the discipline, the momentum that you need to, you have to gain so much momentum behind it. It doesn't stop on that 1 sale, 2 sale. How many times did I clear out my AccuLinks for the team?
Oh, dude, dozens. Dozens. And I think that's a low number.
I got so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So many contracts, dude. So much stuff. Dude, you guys got to take this. I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Just take it.
Yep.
I was, dude, so stressed out. There's just been multiple times. I just went through a phase in my life that I just got so stressed out and overwhelmed. And I hit that 40%. Congratulations, Adam. You're at the starting line again. Time to get busy. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I have anything left in the tank. And I just give my crap away. Here, congratulations, dude. Yes. Here's $12,000, $15,000. Here's jobs. I can't handle it anymore. Right? I put myself in the pressure cooker time and time and time again, and I had just the greatest team around me, and I have the best team. Big shout out to my team today. We got massive shout outs going out to Adam Mills and his whole team, Landon Harris, his whole team, Drew Nyertz, Adam Cleveland, Bryce Dunton, Kyle Cummings, Reed Emke up in Colorado, Matt Lankford when we were selling together, Sean Powell, all these guys, dude, that carried me when I couldn't carry myself, right? And the guys that I carried when they couldn't carry themselves, because it takes a team.
Yes.
So guys go out there and I say, dude, I want to be the number one salesman. That's fucking awesome, dude. Go out there and get it then. But you're not going to learn how to be the number one salesman sitting in a goddamn office getting trained.
Yep.
You have to go get forged in the fire through the no's, through the yeses, through the maybes, through the ACV policies, through the I didn't build it right, through the callbacks, through the ROC complaints, right through all of it.
Yes.
You got to get forged in the fire.
Yep.
I don't care about someone else's story. I need to live my own.
Yep.
You need to teach me that. I can't, dude. You need to go knock the door and get it yourself. You just put the fucking wrong shingle color on the dude's house. Let's rip it off. Right? Yeah. I don't want to hear stories about other people's accomplishments. I want to create my own.
Yep.
Period.
I love it, dude. The passion that you have, you feel strongly about it, right?
Yeah.
And it's super, super important, because that's where you got to where you are, dude, the leadership. You know what I see is when I hear your story, Adam, I get to talk to you. I understand that how you got to be a high performer. Because inside the pressure cooker, like you talked about, there was a layer that was added to you. There was a layer. Every single breakdown, every single panic attack. We used to talk about panic attacks all the time. Super stressful, right? So the thing I love about your story, dude, is you were an overcomer, man. You have built yourself literally from the rock bottom, dude, from nothing, dude, because you pushed yourself into unseen and unknown territories that, through the pressure of the stress of all these, of door-to-door sales and leadership, which when you're getting into leadership, now we're embarking, we're going to touch on this in a second, but we're embarking on a whole nother realm of things, because it has any entrepreneur, dude, any manager, anybody that is operating a huge organization, dude, it has to deal with people, right? And so there's a set of skills that come into this. So it's now we have a coin, and on that coin has always been sales, and it's always been leadership and management, right? Some people are not good at both of them. They're just not, right? Some people are good at sales and some people are good at leadership. But the cool thing, just like you said, is what's the message to get out there? Dude, be a high performer. Lead people. Learn how to navigate, inspire, uplift, change, create productivity inside the team, right? Being able to bring an energy inside of that, right? Be able to lead people. Here's an even bigger one that I've seen you do, dude, which is super inspirational, is to be able to gather a team of people that are better than you are. That's it. Whoa, hold on a second, right? But that's getting into that leadership. We don't talk enough, like really what it takes and why it separates people, because sometimes we walk into leadership, dude, and when we get in there, we're growing through the process. We see that it is no longer about us. It is about the team. It is about them. And it's like an organism, dude, that's constantly shifting and moving. Multiple personalities. Everybody needs to be reached at a different level. Everybody has different strengths in what they do. And I would have to say, Adam, one of your, when I look at you and how far you've come, the leadership that you have and where you've gone with it and where you've taken it is unbelievable, right? So let's dive in right now, because we do know inside the industry, right, sales is great. And, you've talked about your story of how you've come from where you are. And I think we're digging into this leadership, dude, really catapulted you, right, into a whole nother era, dude. So let's talk about in this leadership, dude, what are some qualities and strengths that you really developed? Because in the beginning, it was the same as me. Remember when, and Adam, let's not forget here, Adam, I remember in building my team, I was forged next to you inside leadership, okay? And this has gone on, and we've shifted, and we've done other things, but in the beginning, that spark was born, and I want to talk about this real quick, because it's very special to me. I know you're laughing over there.
I don't want to do this shit, dude.
I remember talking, we get into the industry, man, and we find out that we're just good at sales. You remember the story? We're just good at sales. Yeah. We're out there grinding. We're just enjoying being out there and traveling, man. Right? We're just enjoying it. We're going to every corner of the state, dude, chasing these storms. And I'm loving life, man. We're just like, my God, we get to do this. We don't have to do this.
Yeah.
We get to do this stuff, right? And Adam's like, hey, listen, dude, let's talk. We're going to build a team, okay? I want you to take this guy on. I want you to get that guy. And I don't remember who was first, who was second or third, or how it even really went, but I do remember this. I remember when it first happened to me that I always had that ability. It was just always internally in me. When something happened, when something took place in life, I would jump on it. Okay, that chair. If Matt, we're in this room right now, we need a chair. I would be the first one to go get the chair.
Yeah.
I would get the chair. If not, I would delegate that to get somebody to get a chair in here. I wouldn't sit back and be quiet. So throughout my whole life, ever since I was a kid, I felt that I've always had those leadership qualities in me, right? But now we're talking about hyper speed, okay? Now we're talking about you have to sell at a high level, right? We're selling anywhere between 5 to 10 roofs a month as a high performer on the build schedule, right? And I remember some of those awards, dude, that we got. Dude, a Trailblazer Award, which really, lighted fuel. That's the purpose of it. Put a bunch of fuel underneath me. But there was another award that me and Adam got, top sales performer, and this, that, and the other. But when Adam was like, hey, we got a guy, I had to now take that guy, train that guy in my truck, traveling all over, right? Dealing with those personality traits, trying to give him a part of me. And inside of that realm, which is super, dude, this is insane for me because it's a part of my story, and I thank you for this, dude. I love you to death. Forcing me to do that. Even though you were probably thinking about, okay, we're talking about growth because that's how we're all moved. We want to grow. We want to push. We want to take it. We just want something, dude, to say that we did it, right? And that's what we were motivated about. But when we're into that, dude, the one thing that really separates us, Adam, was this, and I see this in my own person and my own experience inside the sales industry is, in the beginning, it was like, dude, can you tie your shoes? Can you put on a hat? Dude, can you knock on a door? Let's go, you're hired. Right? Now I dive in so much into self-development, dude. But in those midst, I got a chance to be able to develop another person. I was no longer on top. I would come underneath, right? Yep. And he was like, hey, where are you at? Tell me about your wife. What's going on in your family life, dude? Hey, tell me about your goals, dude. Do you have a vision board set up? Or I would really take everything that we ever learned in self-development, and I would see where that guy was, dude. And sometimes we had to build them. So it's not just leading people, dude. It's building individuals.
Yeah.
And guess what? Here we go. Because 7 days from now, Adam's like, I got another guy. So I would have 2 guys, and I would have 3 guys. And at that point, when I was with Adam, I remember I had the longest downstream of 17 guys, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if that was smart or stupid. Still, it's untold, right? Because I had no managers to take these guys. But I was present, I was there, and I know for a fact that I was built by your guidance, right? And being able to say, I'll take it. I'll take them. I'll take them. Let's take a look at them. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So even though that you are a leader, even though that you think you have the skills, I want to let everybody know, and I want you to talk about this, Adam, is you can't be selfish, man. Adam just talked a little bit about how he was in this. And this is not a roofing industry thing, man. This is a lesson in life through leadership, through any entrepreneur that's listening out there that's going over a team of people. We don't care if the person is 1 guy or 50 guys. When you're training somebody, it's no longer about you. It's about him. And I do believe this. When you touch somebody, I mean, my goodness, when you touch somebody with a little bit of love, a little bit of inspiration, and you create a vision for that individual, they'll follow you anywhere. They'll go to the ends of the earth, right? To the ends of the earth. So inside of that, Adam, when we were building that, dude, the reason loyalty is attached to that is because, just like you said, I used to give all my jobs away. I would give everything to these guys. Do it all, drain. I have never met anybody inside of any sales, anything that I've done, that has sacrificed as much as you have as far as inside the work element, right? Getting out there, selling, jobs. Needed to make sure if you had 25 guys that were spread across, your job was to be able to touch each one of those 25 guys. Not one time did I ever hear, hold on a second, dude, we're not doing that. He's not getting this. You had to see them excel past you. You had to accept that you were going to be on the bottom and your account was going to be at a 0 when their account was at 100K. And you accepted that because you knew. I want you to talk about this because now we're getting into some live, dude, some solid stuff here, okay? That sacrifice, dude, I remember talking to you on the phone and you just told me, I know it's going to work, dude. I know I can lead them. I know I can guide them. I know it can happen. That's the difference here. We can water this thing down all we want. We could talk about, leadership and, you want to be able to lead your guys and touch base with them. But this industry that we're in, dude, I've mentored, have mentored, guided, gave money to, lifted people up, dealt with their wives leaving them. Dude, not only flat tires, we're talking trucks that completely broke down, dude. I mean, leading, building individuals. That's what it's all about. And inside of that, that's self-development, leadership, entrepreneurship, that's where we were really born going into leadership. And I had to dive into that, Adam.
Yeah.
I really had to do. So talk about that a little bit. When you seen this, when nobody else did, nobody else seen it. You seen it. And you took the zeros and you took the losses, dude, to build people up, dude, taking a risk on them.
Yeah, dude. I've spent hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars building my own team, building other people's teams, leads, housing, food, trucks, and I mean hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Probably $500,000, easily. And I do it, man, because I believe in people. I believe in them. And you said earlier, I like to take individuals that I think have better qualities than me, because I don't want to be your boss. I don't want to be your fucking dad. I have children already, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want to have you follow each and every one of my orders I say, and I don't try to give orders. I don't try to do anything. Hopefully you follow the path that I've lined out, because it's really, really, really worked well for me, and I want it to work well for you as well. So I take these individuals and I promise them something, or I guarantee them something, right? They have to fulfill it through their work ethic, but I want to see them succeed. I need them to succeed, dude, because I gave them my word. And so when that happens and they come on and I say, dude, I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of. I knew that I was taken care of even when I had $3,000 in my bank account, when I had $1,300 in my bank account. But I have to make sure that this works for them, because I told them it would. And the satisfaction and the glory behind that was the most life-changing experience I've ever had. Now this individual, and on a grand scale, right, what you think about in the beginning, this individual bought a brand new truck. Maybe he purchased his first home. He got into his apartment or a house. He put, food on the table for his children. He bought himself some new clothes. He took a couple trips. I never forget about those times in my life that has happened for me. That's why Ronnie is so important to me, and you guys are so important to me, because you helped develop a character inside me that gave me the abilities to do those things. And every time I do that for somebody else or help do that with somebody else, it makes me feel good. It's no longer about like the financials. Obviously, I love money. That's cool, great, right? I like toys and stuff. But more so, I can always look back and say, well, what did Adam do? What is his legacy? Yeah, I got a YouTube channel. We're starting the fucking first ever roofing hustle, teamed up with Hustle 2.0. It's going to go launch in 18 different states. It's going to be around the whole country, all right, major programs. I've hired over 113 people. I have 115, 16, 17-man sales team. All these things are great, but same thing, like how did you accomplish that? Because I believe in these people, and I have a duty to fulfill, because that's my destiny from God at this point, I believe. It's like you're better at helping people than you are yourself. So when I'm focusing on everybody else and trying to get them to a position to where I want to be, and I stick them somewhere and I say, I'm going to make this happen for you, dude, it's my duty and obligation, and it gives me purpose, because I'm a purpose-driven individual, whether it's through anger and I get mad and I just do it out of spite. Sometimes happens. I do it out of love. I do it out of caring. I do it out of kindness. I do it for so many different ways, right? Must be nice. But I do it because I have to have a driving force behind that. And sometimes it gets very overwhelming. But when I look inside of an individual and I say, dude, I want to build you up and make you into something that I see inside you that you may not see, you may see. You just need an opportunity. I'm going to be that opportunity for you to elevate yourself. So guys, you guys got managers out there. You guys got people that believe in you, whether it's your family members or people that have brought you on in the industry or done this. Don't ever forget that crap. Don't ever forget what they did for you. And maybe your manager sucks and you don't care, but whatever that looks like for the guys that are in there and they're always lending a hand and they're always available and they're helping you build your team and they're helping you gain more financial stability and they're helping constantly, that's a big burden on those people, right? It's a big burden on you, on me, on the big high level, high signing managers. To give some credit and give some support to those guys. They're changing your life, right? And I say that because when it was happening to me, I was so damn defiant. And I didn't want to go get, Jeremy Campbell was a perfect example on the fire crew. Everything he would tell me, I would be so defiant on. But everything he told me elevated my character. Every fucking thing. And I was so defiant in the beginning. You remember how defiant I was. He told us to do this, and he wanted us to work extra hours, and we couldn't leave until every stick was picked up. I didn't understand why. But there was a why behind it, because he was developing leaders. And I love to develop leaders. And we talk about developing leaders and developing culture and doing all this stuff, right? Like giving back and doing all these things. Dude, think about this. I've been involved in the last 4.5 years with over $100 million directly or indirectly in insurance claim roofing, right? Provided jobs, ample opportunity for more people. If I provide opportunity for one person and he gives that back to 3 people, and this spreads into a 200-man thing, or people start their own companies after this, and I've affected them positively in some way, shape, or form, how does Adam do that?
Yes.
Well, let's look at the whole system, how it runs down. The insurance claims, they let us eat. The companies, State Farm, Allstate, Geico, Liberty Mutual, Chubb, Nationwide, Private Client, all this crap, right? Everyone wants to jump up on a roof, man, and get in a fight with an adjuster and tell them how they know code and they're so smart about this shit. Dude, be thankful they let you eat, because they could say, hell no, at any given moment.
Yep.
We're not buying this. We're not approving this. But once they approve that, and thank you, I love the insurance carriers. Once they approve that roof, sparks something inside us internally, gives us a little more go. I got another roof approved. That's amazing. When that roof's fully built, you put a brand new roof on a homeowner's house that they paid $1,000 for, whatever their deductible is. You uplifted the community, their assets protected, you know, all this great stuff that happens. You get some money in your pocket. You go out for a dinner. You tip the waitress. She goes home. She's able to put food on the table. You buy material from the manufacturing plant, which creates jobs. They get to put food on their children's table. Christmas presents are coming. People are buying new cars. Taxes are getting paid. We're massive, huge production members of society.
That's right.
Period. And when you look at it as a whole, like, oh my God, over 100 million. Yeah, 20 million of that probably went to the production center, the manufacturing plants, not to mention the roofers that are eating. Everybody wins, dude. Everybody wins. So how many families and how many lives have you affected? Your girlfriend wants a new purse or something? Yeah, that's from a roofing industry. Well, how did you get into that? Well, this dude gave me an opportunity, gave me a chance, right? The impact from top to bottom that it has on people's lives is so damn profound, it's insane.
Yes.
Must be nice.
Yes.
Right? So, I see these guys, and I love these guys. I love working with these guys. They're my fucking family. You guys are my family. And I love seeing something in someone, and I say, I think I can help you develop into something even bigger and better. I know I can help you develop into something bigger and bigger. If I focus on myself, I don't know how to do it for myself, but I know how to do it for you. Let me help you. A lot of the guys have superseded me and came past me, and they're better in sales, and they're bigger in this, and they're doing that. I can recruit more guys to put on your sales team, which is going to give them an opportunity to purchase a home and purchase a vehicle and put food on their table, which is going to put money in the company's pocket, going to put money in your pocket and put money on my pocket. We all fucking win. Everybody wins, dude. And I say, I think you're the guy I can do it with. I believe in you. Let me see what we can do here. And I take off, dude, and I'm running. And I hate failing. I hate failing. So I'm going to do everything I can. Clean out my bank account, go sign contracts with you, all that stuff in the beginning. Yeah, I don't sign contracts anymore. I don't do a bunch of that stuff, right? For the new guys coming on, they go, hey, dude, why doesn't he do that? That's why. I put the work in. I put the time in. I put the energy in. I put the effort in. I don't just sit at my house. But there's massive amounts of people out there that still need to be affected, and we need to jump on these podcasts and talk about it, and we need to hire more people coming out of prison, and we need to change the recidivism rate, and we need to put food on people's tables, and we need to get guys into their first-time homes. We need to continue to do that, dude, because we are starting some momentum. If I want to ride a wave, dude, it's going to be a damn tidal wave.
Yes.
Straight up. That's going to be a great story. Don't put me out there on a fucking boogie board, right? I want to be in a yacht riding that tidal wave going, hold on here.
Yeah.
You know, damn, what a great story.
Yep.
I want to impact lives upon lives upon lives. Children, families, prison systems, recidivism. All that stuff matters to me.
Yes, dude.
You talk about leaving a legacy, then go out and do it.
Yep.
You sit at home praising and wishing and doing this or saying must be nice or whatever, it ain't gonna cut it. It's just not gonna cut it. Raymond Wendell Little said something great, dude, when we were out there recording him for Redemption Blueprint. He says, dude, if you sat on your ass in prison for 3, 4, 5, 8 years, whatever that was, nobody owes you shit. You've been sitting on your ass. You better get out there and get to work.
Yep.
Nobody owes you nothing. There ain't no more poor me. You put yourself in that situation, get yourself out of it. The cool thing about what we all have going on here in the roofing industry is there's a lot of community and a lot of family around, dude, that support you and wants to uplift you and see that happen for you.
That's right. That's unreal, dude. One of the things that really stuck out to me just right now when you were talking about that was, I think you've been really good at what you do because two different things. Number one is the fear of failure. That's what I have as well. That's what sales has really produced out of me, the competitiveness, right? And the understanding that nobody's going to give us nothing, dude. Nobody's going to give us nothing, and I don't fail. So I'm going to go out there and make it work. The next thing is inside of the leadership is...
I just got to cut you off really quick.
Get it. Let's get it.
Everybody thinks like you're such a great leader. You're, all this stuff. Or Kai, you're a really good leader. You're a great leader because you're a follower. You're a great leader because you understand what the men need and you provide that for them. You're constantly keeping fuel in the tank. You're constantly refueling that tank for them, which drains your own tank, right? But it's like, hey, I'm not telling these guys what to do. I'm showing a pathway, providing that, and then assistance through there. And every time a new individual comes up, we get that much better. We've came leaps and bounds from the Prescott department. We've came leaps and bounds. I mean, talking
yes,
an extreme amount of growth.
Yes, dude.
And you go, well, guys have it easy today in the industry. We got guys giving out bonuses. We got guys getting trucks bought for them. We got guys getting, $3,000 draws a month. We got guys doing all kinds of stuff. You got housing provided for you. You got guys buying dinners all the time. It doesn't get no better than that. All I got to do is knock doors. And people still go, I wish you would have done this for me. Like, dude, we've changed the roofing industry, in my opinion.
We have, dude.
We have completely changed the roofing industry of how people come up, how teams are built, how people are taken care of, and it continues to get better and better and better for people because anything that I lacked, anything that you lacked, you get to come underneath Adam or Matt. You see all the great attributes, and then you see those 10 things that you hate about them or they could do better. All you have to do is do better than them. That's it. All you got to do is do a little bit better than me than what I did. And now you're better than what I did and what I provided. Because you got to take all my strengths and then you took some of my weaknesses and just turn those around. So if each individual does that, it gets better and better and better and better. You can't fail today unless you fail.
That's right. I mean, you absolutely just got to sit on your couch and not do anything. Dude, listen to this. The leadership, dude, is being able, what I found through the industry is what works so well for me, and everybody has something special about them, right? Like me and you were very similar, but we're a lot different in a lot of ways, dude, but we've gotten to the same place, right? The one thing that I've always seen is this really stuck out to me when you were talking about you've got to give them something. You've got to empty out your tank with them. Just yesterday, I talked to a new guy that just came on, and, dude, it's crazy. I literally told him, he told me a little bit of a story, and I said, dude, there's people that are casting you out and betting against you, man. Are you going to let that happen? I don't care if that's your wife, your old employer that you left, right? Some people in the industry, maybe some guys that really work next to you that are knocking with you. Maybe you're just not good enough, right? What are you going to do right now to make that shift? How are you going to turn that into being competitive? How are you going to overcome that? Anyways, as I'm talking to him, because I'm really good at motivating people, and I'm just being me. I'm not trying to be fake or watered down or anything. He looked at me, dude, and he's like, wow, oh my God. That right there is exactly what you just talked about. You're taking your tank and you're going out throughout that team. And for the people listening, dude, that's what leadership is. That's it. It's not setting some guy up and slingshotting him out in the field, dude, not talking to him for 3 weeks, man. That's not it. You're raising the level of him. That's your skill. That's your superpower, Adam. Dude, you don't think about yourself. It's not about the money, dude. You want to make that individual better. That is insane, dude. So if anybody asks, hey, it must be nice, or hey, how did you get to where you are? That's a skill that you've just developed, bro. And that's really it. And I think every high performer inside the sales industry, dude, or any great leader, any entrepreneur out there, I don't care if you own a restaurant, I don't care, dude. If you got people working underneath you that are digging ditches in the construction field, heavy equipment, whatever it is, you have people out there. And those people are going to work harder for you when you give them the best of you, period. And that's the difference inside that. And what I always love, dude, is it's just not about, it has nothing to do with the money at that point. It doesn't, dude. We're here to win, and we're here to really make your story, dude, something that's worthwhile to tell.
The financial the monetary gain behind that will just come.
Yes, automatically.
If that's your main focus, you're never going to obtain it. I don't believe so.
Sure.
Constantly, right? Or you're going to lose it fast.
Yep.
The financials will come behind that mindset, behind who you are, as inside your character. That stuff will come, dude. When you have that, at the forefront of your mind, and you're trying to lead men, and you're trying to follow men, and you're trying to fuel up their tanks, and you're trying to do those things, dude, later on, it'll all come back to you. It will. It says it in the Bible.
Yep.
It says it in AA. It says it everywhere. It says it on Instagram and TikTok posts. It says it everywhere, right?
It's there.
It's just, are you willing to do it?
Yep.
Do you have faith enough to do it?
Yep. That's it. I mean, dude, we've been talking about some powerful stuff right now. That's without a doubt, dude. And I love it, dude, because we get into high performing. What does a high performer do? How do they think? What do they do inside their business, entrepreneurship in general? How do they deal with their people? How do they inspire them? How do they uplift them? How do they sacrifice what they have to give to their team? We've talked a little bit about. And we've went all the way back to where we started from nothing, dude. And how did we do it? And the basis of it is just being able to put somebody else first, be able to serve the community, and just go out there and be the best version of you. And it's been great, dude. I will tell you this, it's super powerful. Let's dig in, dude, to getting into Redemption Blueprint, right? And Hustle 2.0. Talk to me about when you started this thing, the motive behind it, the purpose of it, dude, and how far you've gotten with it, dude, because it's super incredible, dude.
Thank you. Redemption Blueprint. Well, obviously, a lot of our journeys, our stories come from prison and addiction. And, I hear sometimes guys say, oh, what's so special about a guy that was a drug addict ripping people off and doing these things? What's so special about it is your home doesn't have to be victimized again by one of our actions because we're on drugs. Right? Yeah. That's what's special about it.
Yeah.
We're not proud of the things that we had done in the past. We don't hang our hat on that and say, oh, yeah, I was the biggest criminal ever. As a matter of fact, we're kind of, as a whole, as a group, we're kind of disgusted by our actions. And we've come to that realization through, working with, other men and God being in our life and revealing these things to us about how nasty of people that we had become. And we just made a full transformation, a full 180, a restoration.
Yeah.
And it's been, I can write a list down, and there's 100 men out here that I'm close to and that I love and that I've worked with and that I've spent time with on the prison yard that changed their lives around. And it's kind of a phenomenon, right? An unexplainable thing.
Yes.
That the only answer to that is God. How did you do that? Dude, the short version is God. It's it.
Yeah.
You can't say anything else. There's no explanation for it. And people are like, well, how? Did he talk to you? No, he doesn't do that, right? But he opens up doors and opportunities for people to do things and change in their lives, right? And puts people in front of us that are leaders, that we want to follow.
Yeah.
Bob Schober and I were talking one night, and we're on the phone. It's like 10:30 at night, and we're talking about like sales teams, and he's the owner of Pro West, one of the owners of Pro West, and we're talking about sales teams, and what came about, and this is just a crazy story, man. And we need to create a movie because I know so many guys, and people need to see this because maybe it will reduce recidivism and give people a hope and an opportunity and a chance, man. Because I believe that everybody in prison. They don't want to be doing those actions, right? But something inside them is holding them back. And how do we touch their lives and, right back down the cycle? Because I want to touch their families' lives, and I want to be a part of that and that journey. And I believe that everybody's worth it. So he got Josh on the phone from All In Marketing, and we talked about this. And Josh was like, "Yo, this is insane. Like, I never heard anything like this. Let's start a YouTube channel." And we started, a YouTube channel, and we started talking about success in the roofing industry and success from post-prison and where guys are at today and how many lives can be touched through it. The butterfly effect or turning back around. What do they call that? Pass it on or,
sure.
Buy the next person's
Yep.
McDonald's behind you or Starbucks or whatever that is. We started talking about that, and then that's what we do. Redemption Blueprint's a huge movement, man. We have guys across the country that are featured on the film. We have a lot of great individuals. You and I were captured on camera one time, and I just believe in it. And at the end of the day, there's no monetary gain from it. We pay for it, but at the end of the day, at the very least, at the very minimum, guys can look back in this time, in this era of roofing and where we're at today, and show their children or their grandchildren and say, I was successful at some point in time, or I still am. Sure. This was me when I was 35 or 36 or 37, living my best life out here in the roofing industry. And they'll always have that, and it'll always be on YouTube for someone to remember. And a lot of the stories we've been in contact with people throughout the country and throughout Arizona, and just to get someone's story out there. And if I watch a story like that of success and somebody digging a ditch or coming out from like the bottomless pit of hopelessness or despair, and they're able to crawl out of that and become a business owner or become a mentor or just become a leader in the community, I think that's very powerful, and it spreads the message of hope, right? And if we do anything at all and we spread the message of hope and change some people's lives, then we've accomplished the victory. And yes, the whole financial thing was right out of the window with that too. Pay for it. Yeah. If I can pay to change your life, I will.
Yep. That's incredible, dude. It's a heck of a story, dude. We've been seeing this, dude, since we started, right? And it's the one thing that has never stopped is growth, dude. People, attraction, right? And you've really taken that and magnified it, dude, and kind of created this redemption, blueprint for everybody to tell their stories. It's the same thing as this podcast, and I believe that our main objective is connection with people, service to other people, and with lives that are changed, right? Because when we come together, dude, we're stronger, right? And I believe, dude, that these type of things, dude, like just here today when we've talked about your story and how far that you've come, there's celebration in that, right? There's victory in that. There's growth inside of that. And what that is it's a powerful message that people will listen to. And it's like any other knowledge and wisdom that we know out there. People are going to listen to this. They're going to watch that. And it could change one person, Adam. It could change 100 people, dude. And, dude, my hat's off to you, dude. A lot of respect. Love you to death, dude, for taking the initiative, dude, to going out there and starting that up, because that is the main purpose. There's no monetary money being gained from anything. It's about getting the message out and changing people, dude, and changing the world, dude, in reality, one person at a time. That's it. Everything starts, and everything that we've done, Adam, has always started one step at a time. But the craziest thing in the world is everything we've touched has grown. So if we move forward in the future, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, man. And to be able to implement, a podcast or Redemption Blueprint or stories behind people that have succeeded, I believe that that's what it's truly all about, It's beautiful, dude. Let's get into like a Hustle 2.0. I've heard a little bit about this, but I haven't heard you talk too much about it.
Yeah, man. Hustle 2.0 was started by a woman named Kat Jackson, and she brought a program into Pelican Bay in California. And there was a gentleman named John Jackson, who Kat and John are married now. Yeah. And I don't want to dive too heavy into his story because we're getting ready to do a Redemption Blueprint story with John Jackson.
Oh, nice.
And just the greatest individual ever. Him and his wife, Kat, just amazing people. I got a call from a correctional officer one day, and they said, hey, this program's coming into Mojave unit, and you should check them out. I couldn't get a hold of them. Called Bob from Pro West. Bob called Sean Ricks, the CEO of One Solutions. Sean Ricks gets him on the phone with us. I tell him about who we are as a team, what we do, where we came from and stuff. And John flew out here 3 days later, came and do like a Hustle 2.0 presentation and all this stuff. And I was just totally moved by everything they had going on. And I said, dude, let's team up. We have to do something. Maybe you going inside of prison systems, and we have this program out here that's offering ample opportunity for multiple ex-felons and previously incarcerated individuals. And we've been working on it for about a year now. And we have curriculum coming out. We got all the guys together that are on the team right now. We got Landon and Drew and Adam and Kyle Cummings and Chris O'Hara, Big Chris. Yep. We have, and I'm missing some other guys' names. I apologize. We came in there and we filmed and we talked about our experiences in roofing and prison and who we used to be and what we're like now. And now the training platform's coming out, and it's going to launch in 48 different states or whatever on their tablets, and they have an opportunity to come out here and be a part of One Solution. I mean, my gosh, it doesn't get any bigger than that. Yep. There's not a program like that, dude. We teamed up with them, and we work hand in hand. We're getting ready to fly to Utah on the 20th. And go meet with John, do his redemption story, meet with Kat, who's coming up with the curriculum and stuff, and we're going to teach them all about roofing and sales and what it looks like, and offer more opportunity for people to come out here and change their lives.
Super powerful, dude. My God. Talk about scale. Talk about scaling it, right? taking it to the rooftop. I mean, it's insane, dude.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah, pardon the pun. We're taking it to the roof. No, it's incredible, dude, to be able to see something like that. And it's just, the craziest thing in the world. It's just about people, man. It's about connection.
Yeah.
It's about setting yourself up, dude, with the right people that can bring these things to fruition. And working with these guys, dude, that sounds like what you've done. Dude, it's incredible, man. There's no doubt about it. And if you fast forward the tape, and you go a couple years, dude, there's hundreds and hundreds, if not maybe thousands of people, dude, that have been affected by these simplistic communications, podcasts, redemptions, get-togethers, these things that you got going on to drop recidivism. It's just incredible, dude. It really, really is, man. Dude, tons of respect for you, dude. I got a couple questions for you, right? And we're gonna talk about number one. With Adam's, busy life, from where from starting at the bottom to all the way up to where you got to where you are, dude. Right now, you 100 and something people you have on your team, right? I know your phone, dude, never stops ringing, dude. Multitasker, dude, huge problem solver, dude. What are some things that you do in your life today, dude, that keeps you in motion, that keeps everything level? I know you got 2 kids at home, right? You're a father, dude. You spend a lot of time with your family, right? And I know today with all your successes that you've implemented a lot of balance, because in the industry, dude, you can spend 98% of your time, dude, going crazy in this stuff. What are some things that you kind of do in your life, man, to make sure you're staying in that forward motion of success, dude?
That's a great question. Well, for one, the first 4 years, I didn't stop.
Yep.
I didn't stop once. My vacations were work. My vacations were answering phone calls. Recently, in the last couple months, I give all the credit, and I always give all the credit to the team, dude. They're some of the baddest, hardest working dudes, knowledgeable guys, selfless dudes that you could ever meet or understand in the industry, taking on monumental amounts of responsibility, right? And I had hit a wall just recently, the last couple months. A lot of things going at home in my home life, and I'm a single full-time father. I had to move in an au pair. I'm running the sales team. We got the Hustle 2.0 going, redemption blueprints taking off. Storms are hitting, and I hit a wall, and I was on a mental breakdown, and thought, oh my gosh, right? I don't know what to do. I'm new to this, being a full-time dad, and Jess, moved out of the house, and I worked her right out of the house. It was the most difficult time just recently that I've ever been through. And I felt so stagnant because I'm used to moving, and I'm used to being out there, and I'm used to being in the apartments, and I'm used to being on the roofs, and I'm used to doing those things. And not a lot of balance. Yeah, you see all the toys and stuff, dude, but that shit's work. It's really work. You got this massive toy hauler, right? It takes a lot of gas. You got to go hook it up. You got to find a place to park it. You got to fill it with food. You got to travel it 4 hours somewhere. You got to unload everything. You got to set it all up. You got to clean it out. You got to get the generators going. You got to do all these things. It's constantly still doing it so everybody else has a good time. Get the brand new boat, right? Hey,
Yes.
Going out on the boat and I'm having a good time, dude, but I love seeing everybody else have a great time. That balance has just recently came in where I remember last year I was talking to Landon Harris and the guys, and I said, dude, I have to make these basketball games. I have to try to make these, and I sign up to be an assistant coach, and I make them, and I drive home from Flagstaff, dude, at 7:30 at night, and I just pull up at the last minute, and I'm putting my shirt on and be a coach,
Yeah.
and I'm walking in there just whooped. I got I don't even know what's going on, but I'm accountable to being the assistant coach, so I just show up.
Yeah.
I put myself in these positions where I'm mandatory, I have to be there.
Yeah.
But there's no balance. There's no balance,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You think the guy that owns this house has balance, or he did obtaining this home?
Sure.
No, that's not a real thing. There could be balance later.
Yep.
There could be. But in the midst of trying to obtain the things that you want to obtain,
Yeah.
you have to sacrifice everything. Sacrifice.
Sacrifice in the chase.
Dude, it's a reality, and I tell everybody this, what does that look like? The must be nice thing. Dude, I don't even know my kids' teachers' names. I don't. And I don't say that like out of pride, but I say that as when people must be nice. Yeah. Must be nice to live in a brand new home. Must be nice to this. Must be nice. Dude, I sacrifice everything for it. For the greater good of my family. My kids don't go without school clothes. They don't go without food on the table. They don't go without getting taken care of. They always have a place to sleep at night. They got a new vehicle to drive in. They have these things, right? I'd rather them have that, which I didn't have as a child. I didn't have any of that stuff. I grew up in foster homes.
Sure.
And nothing, right? My parents were drug addicts. And nothing, dude. I lived a miserable childhood. That's the reality of it. And now that I have the ability to provide that for them, a lot of people say, Adam, dude, you need to take a break. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I might need to.
Yeah.
But I don't. And one day my kids and Drew tells me this all the time. Dude, when they're older, they're going to respect you. They're going to understand what it took to put them in those good schools. They're going to understand what it took to make sure they have four-wheelers out at the dunes. They're going to understand all that stuff.
Yep.
But right now I have to sacrifice all those things to obtain the stuff that I want. And guys go, I'm not willing to sacrifice. I don't think that's true. I think that they cut themselves short because internally they don't feel like they're worth it. Internally they'll feel like they fail. So I'm just going to put that marker out there right now. I would never do that. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. Nobody would ever turn down money. You just don't think that you're worth it. So you put this judgment on top of yourself and you say, dude, I wouldn't do that. I'd come home at night. Oh, I'm great with $80,000 a year. No, you're not. Everybody wants $1 million. Everybody wants $5 million. They do. I promise you that. Everyone wants to drive a brand new car. Stop putting those roadblocks in front of yourself and say, dude, I'm going to do it. How do I figure out how to obtain that? That's the question.
That's the question.
How do I get there? Well, sacrifice. You got to find someone that's going to watch the kids. You got to do this. You got to do that. Great partnership. You got to team up with someone. You know best. I remember sitting down with Shanae. In 2020, beginning of 22. You guys were pregnant with the twins. She was freaked out. We're pulling you away from your $100,000 a year job. Just got back from the dunes. It's 8:30 at night. We're sitting in the living room, and I'm like, I'm sorry. This is what it's going to take. And today, she probably understands that. At the time, Adam Tronier, Matt Lankford, she's engaged to you.
Yeah.
I can't believe you. You're going to put us in a bad position. Adam Tronier, you motherfucker. Right? But today, you guys are in a very, very good position. You're the owner of Valor, one of the three owners. You have, your financials are good. Got a big sales team. You started a podcast. Congratulations. You have all these things, right? But a lot of sacrifice. Shanae had to take care of the kids alone, and she still does to this day. She had to raise them, and you always said something that makes sense. Like, hey, I'm the provider. You take care of the kids. I'll be back when it's good. I'll come home when we're okay.
That's right.
Until then, just know that I'm going to make sure you're okay.
My God, that's powerful.
Oh, it's so powerful, right?
It resonates with tons of people too.
Well, you got. Let's talk about Netflix or YouTube or whatever you want to watch at night. Like, I got my favorite shows throughout the night.
Sure.
Well, I'm married to my chick. Well, cool. How old are you? I'm 30. Well, shit, the average person dies around 70 or 80, right?
Yep.
That's 40, 50 years from now. You're telling me you're going to go home every night for the next 40 years and watch a TV program with this chick while you're renting a house? You could have put all those hours and effort and energy in for the next 5 years and provided something for you guys that you really want, because you got 30, 40, 50 years to spend with that individual.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
It's unreal, dude.
Yeah. No. I don't want to miss that episode. Must be nice.
Yep. Yeah, you can never put yourself in a position to be able to say what must be nice when you're doing. The thing about it is you're being comfortable. That's a great word. That's what it is. The big thing is this: for those of you out there that want something greater, the word is sacrifice through this whole podcast, dude. That's what we've been talking about is sacrifice, and going out and grinding and getting it. We talk about financial gains and entrepreneurship and building big teams and making 6 figures a year. That's what it is. There is no balance when you want to chase after something like that. And I agree with that 100%. There's not one person that I've ever sat down with or really looked at and said, well, how did you get to where you are? He didn't get that way by being lazy, dude. He didn't get there. He didn't get that way by doing minimal things. He was a very high performer, and what that meant was 17-hour days. What that meant was it may have not have been a lot of stressful work. I mean, not stressful work, but physical labor, but a lot of stressful problem solving, dude. A ton, right? And it's super cool to hear that, man. So you want something big, you got to go chase it, man. You got to sacrifice it.
Yeah, you want big results, do big things.
Yep. Perfect, dude. I love it, dude. No, I love it. Next question, man, is everybody has a different definition of success. Some people think, dude, success, my definition of success is just, hey, accomplishing one goal, just taking care of my family, right? Other people will look at certain things like, and I know you're like this, Adam, when you set something up, dude, you go for the win, bro. And when you, like that, me and you are a lot alike. Like when we get into that, it's like we say that we're going to do something, and when we do it, when we get there, dude, that's our high, like that is the achievement, that success, man. Go into a little bit about, your definition of success, dude, in your life today.
Oh, that's a great question. Made me itch my ear.
Yeah.
The definition of success today, dude, the way I feel about myself internally, the way I conduct myself.
Yep. Great answer, dude.
Yeah, the way, it could be, you hear a lot of these things, and it's changed over time. And it changes any time. Like if you get a hold of me in 6 months, and my definition of success is something else, and I'm trying to obtain a goal, it's going to be that goal.
Yep.
But as of right now, the internal feeling that I have about who I am when I look in the mirror, who I am to my children, who I am to you, who I am to my friends, who I am to my team, just the way I feel about myself when I lay my head on that pillow at night, that's the definition of success for me right now today. At one time, I'll be successful when I get custody of my children.
Yeah.
Did it. I'll be successful when I run the largest sales team or have the largest sales team in the state of Arizona, maybe in the Southwest. Did it, right? All those things, that was cool. But the definition of success today is like, how does Adam feel internally about himself? Is he okay with who he is and the things that he's going through? How does he deal with stress? That's going to be my definition of success right now, because I've been put in my place multiple times in this industry, in life, as a father, as a friend, as a coworker, many, many times. And I know that when I feel good about myself and the things that I'm doing, dude, that's very successful internally.
Yep.
And when I feel good about myself, other people feel good about themselves because I'm going to project that on them.
You remember we were driving in a car, dude, about two years ago, and we talked about your income will never rise above your self-development.
Ever.
And we put that on Facebook, dude, and I just did a little thing on my Instagram about that, dude, to talk to the camera about some message that I put out there. But the point is no matter where you go or what you do when you're chasing greatness, man, and you're in high-stress situations, you have to develop yourself. I love that answer, dude, because it's like, hey, let me center up me first, because if I'm not good, kids aren't good, family's not good, guys aren't good, business isn't good, nobody's good. That comes first, right? And then you move into the sacrifice and the chasing.
Yeah.
And that's it. Balance doesn't happen as well as it should as long as you're developing that. So your income will never rise above your self-development. And this self-development is literally taking those challenges, those storms in life, knowing that, hey, I need to act out of love here. Oh, maybe I may be right here in this position. I just need to be patient, right? Or, hey, I could approach this a little bit better, right? I believe that every high performer has an intense amount of self-awareness, dude. Because we step out, dude, and we get tested through pressure and strain, and our tank is empty, and we lash out. That's not the best of us, right? Good high performers never take emotions into anything, dude. They just respond accordingly, dude. They never react, in chaos. So, dude, it's awesome, and that's really what it is, man. It's a great pointer, dude. I loved sitting here and going over your whole story, dude. It just beautiful, dude. You've come so far and accomplished so much, dude, with your self-development, your leadership and business, and the way that you've helped, all these other high performers. You've turned these guys into absolute killers. You're helping, people getting out, lowering recidivism. So thank you, dude, for coming on, dude. It's been an honor, dude. And, dude, this is the thing, is Adam just didn't chase success. He built a character out of it, created a team, empowered the world, dude. One person at a time. And I know, dude, you're going to do great, great things. And we got to circle back around here, dude, and do another podcast, dude, because we're going to talk about even greater things, dude. If this hit home with anybody, man, click and subscribe. Hit the button below. And remember this, man. Keep grinding, dude. Keep moving forward and develop yourself. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and congratulations on the podcast. This is super cool. I would like to give a massive shout out to every individual who has inspired me, who has uplifted me, who has stood by my side during the difficult times and the good times. All my team members, you guys are just absolute rock stars. All the guys in the AA program who lifted me up when I didn't know how to do it for myself. So, especially God, massive accreditation to God. I know people might not like hearing that, dude, but I like saying it because I can't leave him out of the equation because, he's going to give you everything that you've earned. And I really appreciate all the support, all the love, everything that we have going on as a bond, as a team, as a unit. So thank you guys so much.
Thanks, Adam.